Hi, I'm Bet from Bet's Makes, and today we're going to be making a Valentine's S-fold card. I wonder what an S-fold is. Well, it's a fold that looks like this. It simply is an S in shape. So this is the card we're going to make. This is just cardstock. It has some double-sided tape and some foam pads, and that's about it. So let's get going with this. Here we are in Cricut Design Space, and we're going to upload an image, and this is for our Valentine S-fold card. So let's go out and get that. Let's just click on Upload Image. You're going to have one file that you want to use, and it's the Valentine S-fold card SVG. So let's click on that and open that. That looks good. It's got all the parts of our S-fold card. So we're just going to save that. Click on it and bring it into Design Space. And now we can do some work on this. Now that's a pretty bright green, but we can take care of all of these pieces. So you'll notice that they all come up as cut, but there's one part that's attached with a score, and that's really important. So we're going to start by ungrouping everything. And these are the shapes that are going to go on top of our card, as I showed you in the intro. So we're just going to move those aside. You can leave them green if you want. Now this is the part that's already attached for you, and you will see that the score lines are already in place. There's absolutely nothing that you have to do with this one either. Where we're going to spend our time is working on these pieces. Now the I love you, they're all cut items, and you can decide how you want those to cut out, because what's going to happen is you're going to come over to these Valentines, and we're going to cut several of these. We're going to cut 3 that go on the outside, and we're going to probably use different colors when we get there. Actually, there's 4 there, so we can cut 4 for the outside. Now we want a duplicate of this particular one because it's going to go on the inside of the card. So the first thing we want to do is duplicate that, and they can all be cut at once. Now we want to take these 3 words and make sure they are going to fit, and it looks like they are in behind, so we're going to come up here to arrange, and we're going to send those to the front. Now we're not going to draw these on, but what is going to happen is we are going to cut these out of vinyl, and we are going to stick them on. Now I can move them about because they are separate pieces so that they actually fit on the inside of our card. So that looks about right. I'm not going to leave them black because it goes on a black mat when you get to the make it portion. So let's just change the color so that we can actually see it when we get on the other side, and I will just make it a light blue so that we can see those. So that looks pretty good. So now we have one heart that's going to fit on the inside, and you can determine the color later when you get to your mats. And then these pieces are actually going to stack on top of each other, and we're going to use a little foam pad to do that. Let me just get this one back in place. Take this one, and we'll have another one here, and it's going in behind, so I'm going to arrange and move that one to the front as well. You'll probably have to do the same with yours, and this is going to look really cute, and we're going to do a few little treatments of it, and that's all there is to do in Design Space. You can decide what kind of paper each one of these is going to be cut on. So when we go to save this, I'm going to save this, and this is going to be our Valentine S-fold card. And just remember, there's nothing else you really need to do here. It's pretty simple on this desktop. So this was saved the way that we wanted it. And now we're going to come over here to make it, and it's going to sort by color. Now these are the 3 pieces that are going to go on top of the card, and you probably want to print those, or cut those on some really nice light cardstock, and I'll give you some suggestions. Then when we come to the I love you, we have these being cut out. I would use a little bit of glitter, maybe some glitter vinyl where you can cut it in, or some sticker paper for these ones. the card itself, whatever cardstock you want to use for your Valentine card, and it'll automatically score. And then the last piece we're going to look at are all these different hearts. Now, you can make these all different colors, and what we're going to do is just move those around so that you can place different kinds of cardstock or paper that you want to use for these. And I tend to, let's see, I'm going to move these down. I'm going to move this down below the 5. That's so I can put a piece of paper on here, maybe a white for this, a red for this, maybe a pink for this, and you might even add another white piece for this. So if we're going to do these both in white, they can go together like this. Maybe these two will be red, and I can get them close together, and that way I am not wasting any paper whatsoever. I'm just going to move it up a bit because I see I can get to the 6-inch line by 4, so I can have a 4 by 6 piece in one color. My white will go from 5 to 9. I'll just move this up a bit, so that's 4 inches, and this is going over 3, 6, 7 inches here. I can't get it any closer than that because of the size of it. So it's 4 by 7 piece. And this last one over here, I want 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3. Maybe I would make it 4. So I can put in 4 different pieces of paper, different colors, maybe a red for this, a white for this, and a pink for this. And that will save you a lot of time and trouble. So let's go ahead and get all of these cut, and then we will put on a demo of how to put this wonderful S-fold card together. So here we are, and we're going to put this whole thing together. We have the card piece that was cut with a couple of folds on it. We have the inner pieces, and I had picked this beautiful little paper that we're going to put on these edges. If you can see this right here. And this on the inside, we have a heart that's going to be placed here, but we're going to do a lot of this. And then we have the I love you, and this is sticker paper, and this was a little tougher to work with. Other things that we're going to need, I have some foam pads. These are just little mini foam pads we're going to use to put this piece together. I have my scraper. I have a double-sided tape, and this one was Forever and Time, super tacky. I'm using that, or you could use a tape runner such as this Tombow one. I have a pair of scissors. I also have 3 Sakura pens, and these are Jelly Roll and glaze pens, and we're going to use that for doing some edging to really make this something else. We're going to start with the inner piece, so I'm just going to move some of this stuff out of the way off to the side here until we can work on different aspects of it. When my machine cuts, sometimes I get these edges, but I have a way to get around that. But first, I want you to fold this in half and give it a burnish. I used a double-sided card, and then we want to burnish this one as well. And that's just to make that fold nice and crisp. So we're going to give it a little bit of a feel here. And what I want to do here is to be able to just take these edges, because they look a little rough to me, and just make them really cool looking. So let's start by just going around this edge where it sees. Okay, I had to clean off my desktop because I don't want to have that paper on there. But what you can do with these edges, I can see that it's still a little bit rough here. I'm going to take off just a little bit of the edge as well, even though I have got the black around it to make it really look nice. Just going to get rid of some of the excess pieces. That looks pretty good. All right, we have everything folded over now exactly the way we want it. We're going to start looking at some of these extra pieces that we have here as well. So our next part is to put these placed in this area. Let's make sure we get the lips facing down. And what I've done is I've used a double-sided tape, and I've pre-put it on here because it's easier to just do the edges this way, and all we need to do, of course, is then just pick off the parts that we don't want, and it is easier with larger pieces. So let's just get those put on. So that's our next step. Start with one of them. And try to center it as best as possible. Just try to do it on one side. So it looks pretty good. We'll do the same for the next pieces. Get it close to the top, just like the other ones. And there we go. We've got a little extra on the edge, but that's okay. So now it should be able to fold this way. Looks really good. Now, you would think that you would want to put the heart with the message in next, but that's not exactly the way you want to do it, because you want to put the heart that's going to close over the top first, and then line this one up with it. So let me just put this aside. Let's come over here and let's start working on this heart. So the first thing we want to do is line it up around center, and then we're just going to push it down in this one place. So I am going to use my double-sided tape again here. Okay, now we have the tape on here. We want to try and line it up as best as possible in the center, because you do not want it. Try and line that up to the middle here and the middle here. It looks pretty good. And we're going to just hold that down, and then now it'll be easier to put in our message one in behind, because you want those to match as best as possible. So it's hidden in behind. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add these other pieces, and we're going to center those in, but we're going to use our little foam pads for this. So we've got these tiny foam pads, and I will just simply stick a few of these on. You don't need too many. So special to other people because they know you handmade them. Now, isn't that adorable? So now we need to put our message in the center, but now we want to make sure that this is going to line up. And we just want to push it in that way, so that looks really good right there. Now the hard part here is, because I've got the tape on the back, is that you want to be able to match that up and not have the tape stick down on you. This type of tape has a lot of static cling to it. So what I'm going to suggest you do before you stick it on is just open it up, line it up this way, line it up long before you stick it down, and then stick it down. It doesn't matter if it's not 100% perfect, but then you know that you're going to be able to hide it this way. Now the last little part of our decoration is the stickers that we cut out. Now my little eye was having some issues, so I'm going to put it up here. And the advantage of it being a sticker is the fact that you can have it go in any direction that you want. There we go. This looks really incredible. So this is our S card with a nice fold. You could write a message on here if you want. You can add little decorations around the outside. You can do a lot of things with it. So I hope you really enjoyed doing this one. This card was so much fun to put together. And of course, with the layers here on the front, it looked really cool when you open it up. We've matched the back heart with the front heart. so that it folds together this way. So the recipient will then get a really great message when you push that through. We used a sticker paper in order to cut out the I love you. It was a little tricky to work with because it's so thin. So I really hope you had a lot of fun with this one, and until next time, happy crafting.